They could go on Ike Spike too. He's a very easy. He's easier than Boba.
Well,
sure.
it depends on when he spikes and where he spikes.
It's a level 1 spike. If he gets caught, he's dead.
Well,
There's no question about
Here comes
that.
Boba and Fluff and stuff. I mean, also getting the Sakuchi means Tron's going to be a lot more difficult to
By
kill.
the way, Battery Assault does not hit invisible units unless you have detection, so if he's Sakuchiing, Cogs won't hurt him as much either. And they've got 3 heroes mid, YYF lurking in the trees, Boba prepared to hook, prepared to backstab. The support is here, but the support is kind of squishy to me. YYF, if he gets caught, Liquid biding their time. They do need these ganks to work, though, because Bat Blink's coming soon. Soon it's going to be IG's turn to ramp up the aggression.
The smoke dispels, so they should know, like, somebody's either over here.
Another unsuccessful gank, it looks like, from Liquid.
They're just poised.
They haven't actually been spotted yet, though.
Oh, Boba walking in. He's just waiting for a
Oh,
hook.
they're coming in. Now they've been spotted. Immediate reaction. YYF into Firefly. Fluff drops a ward, and it's a headlong retreat. The Fire Ants are angry. Chuan's on the hunt. In comes 430 as well.
Chuan's going to get that
Fluff
lift.
is dead.
Chuan's going to get the lift.
There is a hook, though, if they want to re-engage, but this is a bad fight. Fluff's dead.
Yeah,
Not much he
that
could do
gank
there.
just took way too long. And here, Korok's going to find Zoe in the jungle. Is he trying to wait out that ultimate?
Oh, the hook's not going to connect. Boba just out of range for it. Jeez.
If they hit that hook, they maybe get the kill. Because Joe was still next to the neutral camp, and that might take some of the bounces from the Omni Slash.
Yeah, so they might not even get
Right,
it,
so
even
it
with
was
the
just-
hook.
It was close. But
Liquid do have to go for these plays, though, because IG have the much better farming lineup. It's not even close. Visage doesn't flash farm well. Lix Assassin doesn't flash farm well. Weaver's okay, but not amazing. The other team just has some of the best farmers in the game. Shadow Fiend is amazing. And, well, we do see Zhou getting picked off mid. Sorry for missing that, guys. Solo kill on Korok. And now Tron, TP reaction. Gank stealing the healing ward. He needs like 4 more hits to bring him down. It's not going to happen. Korok making a big solo play there. There was no pickup of the Shadow Amulet or the Broadsword, so that really delays the Shadow Blade if he's going for it.
I'm wondering exactly what he's going for. Generally, when you go face boot, I think it's Shadow Blade, but it's hard to actually call because back at the top lane here, it looks like we do have yet another pickoff. TC finds himself a solo kill. Team Liquid striking back.
Some mistakes here from IG, especially that one top. Keeper of the Light off on his own like that. Very bold. No vision towards the top side of the map. They're playing completely in the dark. They do have their YYF Blink Dagger, though, and they have a Shadow Fiend who's getting closer to a BKB. Now with an Invis rune up, they might look to make a play mid. That Dire Observer ward, though, was never dewarded, so they see YYF coming. Boba should not get caught.
Yeah. Back in the bot here, we do see Fluff and stuff as well. So Ike's might think about setting up kill. I don't think there's any way they could kill Chuan. I think, they can't kill Zoe. They definitely could kill Chuan though.
Score 5-4. Liquid really fell behind early. They're still trailing, but at least they're finding a few kills, getting some confidence back. Liquid trying to force things bottom lane. It's 12 minutes in, still no level 6 on IX Mike, still no level 6 on Fluff. These are supports that really need that level 6, so to me this is hurting Liquid a lot.
Well, they're going to perhaps get level 6 off this kill. Zoe under a lot of pressure, down to about a quarter of health. Pops his ultimate, just not enough. Great kill here. And, well, that will get them to level 6, at least for Fluff and stuff. Zoe's getting picked off a couple of times.
Yeah, Joe, the one time when he got tower dove by Juggernaut, I don't know if you could fault him too much there. I mean, that's a pretty big dive, but this one just strutting into the lane with a few supports off the map. Now that level 6 I mentioned, it's up. Familiars are up. Vendetta's
Back in the mid lane
soon.
here. Blink, lasso here against Boba. Boba cogs, but the flaming lasso bounced him out, and the double damage of 430 brings him up.
Okay, he's going to have one of the fastest BKBs that you can see on this hero, and that to me is a really big problem. They can maybe make a go on TC as well. This Illuminate's being channeled, narrowly dodging it. If that hits and they Sakuchi in for a zap, he's probably dead.
Yeah, 430 is just piling a ton of damage on this tower on the mid lane as well. Korok trying his best to draw the creeps off of them towers. And they will hold for now, but just too much concern right now if you are in Liquid. You're dealing with a Blink Bat.
They have to keep on fighting. Like, they have to keep on getting killed.
Well, no, they have to get on better kills. Getting Faith kill, for example, doesn't matter. Getting Tron kill, it doesn't matter. You need to shut down the Shadow Fiend. You need to keep on shutting down Zoe. I have to say, though, shutting down Zoe so far for Team Liquid, they're doing an excellent job of.
So here's the thing. They have some ways to deal with a BKB. They have the Swarm, they have Omni Slash, and they have Familiars, but I don't think they have enough ways to deal with a BKB. And not if IG are fighting as a team. If 430's there with his team and he's not getting immediately caught and brought down, Liquid are losing that fight handily.
Yeah, they need to initiate onto him, and that's where Boba comes in. He needs to be on point with this hook. So far, I think he's only get hit 1 on Faith in the jungle, which is pretty much a freebie. Ice Smite's also level 6. And here we go. They're looking for some kills in the enemy jungle.
This Fluff ward, I think it's seen quite a few of these heroes for IG. They are, however, plotting a very, very big wraparound gank towards the bottom lane.
Oh, they're going back
smoke,
mid.
and they'll head back towards mid. But this Observer ward, it saw like 2 or 3 heroes in this region, so they might know They'll head up towards the bottom lane, though, and I'm not sure if Fluff is ready for this. Familiars, scouting things out.
But this position is so
pretty good
right?
position.
Yeah, they don't
There's
see you.
But there's some good wards here. IG 4 off the map, mid lane pushing a bit, top lane pushing a bit. Fluff, will he get caught? There is a blink bat, though. Firefly prepped, blink. Lasso is there, even with the vision. 1 raise, 2 raises, down he should go. Now a BKB. 430 unwinds, and Liquid need to run. They can't fight this. IX Mike dead. Korok in trouble. In comes Bulba, the hook not on the mark. YYF to fall. 430, 1 more raise, 1 more kill. Korok running. TC trying to latch onto him, but Joe is still alive. Blinking forward is YYF. This is 4 dead. This could be 5. It will be. Ultra kill for 430. Wow.
I don't think 430 missed a single raise in that team fight. Just really confident with his raises. Does not miss his ult either. Big AoE slowing down IX Mike at the beginning and just went to right-clicking, went to raising.
And this is why you have to shut down Shadow Feed
Right.
early. You cannot let that hero dominate his lane and get a fast BKB. And they wanted to, they tried to, but it just didn't work. This is the result.
I mean, they didn't commit enough, right? They sent just Fluff and stuff mid. Perhaps IX Mike needed to go at that time too. Here comes IX Mike trying to 1v4, 1v5. I don't think that's although teleportation is coming in. IX Mike stuns YYF, and I do believe YYF is dead. Recovery coming out from Team Liquid.
They do get the kill. Everybody rotates bottom for that pretty much. They'll TP and Korok mid, however. And it's a nice kill for them. They get something back. But you got to say, like, IG isn't only winning the fights. They're also just flat out farming Liquid. I mean, 430 by himself, 95 CS. That's more than 2 of the other farmers on Liquid combined. Bulba, as well as, as well as the Clockwork. No, the Clockwork as well as the Juggernaut. He's got about the same CS as those 2 combined. So it's great for Liquid to get kills, but the problem is, like, when they're getting a kill, they're not turning it into anything bigger. They're not really getting too much map control off of them. They're not taking towers, and they're not limiting IG's own farm.
Yeah.
IG's still farming a lot.
Right now, IG sending everybody to the bot lane and is completely scouted out by this particular observe ward. I think they realize they can't actually defend that tower, so Liquid Korok is just putting a ton of pressure on the mid lane. That's going to force a TP coming out from Faith, and he's going to illuminate defense, at least try to do so.
One team is Keeper of the Light, one team doesn't. So Liquid, they can't trade for towers. It's just not going to work.
Yeah, and I really like the positioning coming out from Faith. He's illuminating from the high ground. He knows he's absolutely safe here. And in fact, here comes Shadow Fiend.
TC will find an illusion wrench. I don't know what Joe's plan was there. Guess he thought Liquid would stick around way too long. But they do back off. A self-stun from Joe. I do have to say I've been quite underwhelmed by Joe's play this game. 430, however, has been magnificent. And IG are still in a commanding position. 17 minutes in, leading by 8k gold. 5k experience, and barreling down the middle lane. The tower, no glyph available. If they lose 2 tier 1s like this is really going to hurt. Bulba, prep for a hook. He's on the sidelines. He'll hook in. He's going for the backline supports. 430, unloads the Requiem. It's a good one. It might be a great one. There's a couple more raises. 2 heroes dead. Double buyback from Liquid. They really want to turn this around. He does get double familiar stun. Now Joe giving chase. Fluff, dead as well. Triple again. This guy is just playing with a slot machine right now. 430, 11-0 and 2.
They're not done yet. They see TC. TC's on the run. Korok has joined them, and now everybody disengaged. But tier 1 tower goes down. Triple goes to 430.
They have no way to deal with the BKB Shadow Fiend. Even if you hook him, it doesn't stop anything once you BKBs. So Bulba going on the backline supports. I still think that is the correct choice, because those are the ones you can actually kill. But the problem is 430 just kills everyone.
Also, it was overzealous by IX Mike to run into the middle of a big push. Vendetta mode, thinking that there's no sentry. I mean, this is IG you're dealing with. There was sentry up even long before the push happened. So IX Mike ran in with Vendetta, got lifted, and got tossed back into those cogs, and basically melted to the Shadow Fiend Requiem.
So if you're IG now, scores 15-9, leading by 10k gold, leading by 7.5k experience, and all you've really done is, well, it's basically been a one-man show. We've had some good movement from Chuan early, but it's basically just been 430 crushing. So if they ever get these other heroes involved, if Joe gets a Shadow Blade and sets up some kills...
He's got the Shadow Blade, by the way.
Oh, does he?
I think so.
No? Oh, yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's on the courier.
So Shadow Blade's coming out for him. 430, Yasha is coming in. I guess the good news for Liquid is the BKB charges are slowly going down, so maybe they can kill him as the fights stay longer, but they have to live through that initial barrage, and right now they're just not durable enough to do it. Bulba has power treads. That's it. He's not tanky. TC's going BKB, but that doesn't help you against all the physical damage of IG. I don't think they can sustain yet. They need a lot more HP to live through these fights.
Do we have another chapter of the Boba versus 430 mid lane matchup?
Another tough matchup for him, man.
Another storyline.
I mean, like
Boba.
you said, Yeah. And like you said, though, Clockwork can kill Shadow Fiend, but 430 got a good early block, which is really important in that matchup. And from there, just out CS'd him, controlled the lane well, and went for the early boots. Early boots saved his life.
It's very big difference when you're playing against a hyper-aggressive solo mid that try to kill you, like Clockwork this game, when you don't have the backup support. Like, you remember how Pudge last game against a Pug, 1v1 straight up, that Pudge is never going to get a kill. But when you have arrows flying in from multiple directions,
Yeah.
then that works. So what I'm trying to say is that when Na'Vi play their hyper-aggressive mid, they back him up. They give him support. Whereas Team Liquid, all they sent was a pitiful, you know, Shadow Grave gank on the mid lane, Chilling Grave? Chilling Slow? Whatever fluff.
Yeah, there's a Blink Lasso mid lane. Requiem on TC. I don't think they'll... Yeah,
No,
okay.
No.
Okay.
Not
They didn't even need to lift him there. Chuan doesn't even lift.
Yeah, Clockwork 1v1 just doesn't beat a Shadow Fiend if the Shadow Fiend player knows what's up. And judging
He has to
from-
make a mistake or he has to get ganked.
Yeah.
Which they could have done. They had good gankers. They only sent one. It was a level 1 Visage. Their weaker ganker, and it just didn't happen.
Well, IG's just rolling now, going up top as the entire team. By the way, Manta Style is going to be up in like 100 gold from Ferrari, so never mind what the BKB. Even with the Manta illusions.
With a Manta Style and the DD rune, I mean, as I've learned,
Yes.
we can have 3 DD'd Shadow Fiends in this fight. Oh no. Because he'll have his Manta. It's coming right now.
Liquid just trade right now. Trade at tier 1.
They can't even trade, though. That's the problem, because there's Keeper of the Light. Maybe they get this tower mid.
Well, Zo's going to defend and slow down with Acid Spray.
Bulba is scouting, hoping to find a Keeper of the Light for the hook, which is the nice play here, but when you see some of the cores TPing in, you just have to back. They're going to have a mech soon in that Keeper of the Light. Chuan, Force Staff soon. IG is just cruising.
They are cruising. Korok walking in jungle, hoping to find a solo support or something. And unload his...
And honestly, for Liquid, I feel like some lineups can come back from this kind of deficit. Oh, they will find
slash.
Faith.
Nice luck.
Again, killing the supports, though. Killing... Are you sure you delay the mech? Oh, actually, no. He bought it, so didn't even really delay it. I just don't think they have anyone who's going to be that huge comeback hero. Like, who is actually just going to kill a BKB Shadow Fiend late game? Juggernaut with a level 2 Omni Slash, no ags, no damage items, no attack speed. Not him. Not a Weaver with just treads and an Ogre Club. With farm, sure, these heroes can kill Shadow Fiend, but they have nothing to deal with them now.
I mean, I just want to go back to that particular tri lane that Team Liquid ran. When you run a Juggernaut tri lane, your killing power is not that powerful. At the same time, you do have healing more to sustain the Illuminate Blast. So it's basically a passive sort of offensive tri lane. And they just didn't shut down Zo enough. He did get killed a couple of times, to be fair. But they just don't have time to rotate their support to shut down Shadow Fiend mid. And I think that's a storyline for 430 Shadow Fiend. Don't shut him down early, you're going to be in big trouble.
Yeah, IG looking like they're in a commanding position in Game 1. If you're a Liquid fan, though, they could still take Game 2 and be in the upper bracket. So
all they need is one win.
They need one win. This doesn't look like that one win. But I do feel it largely just came down to the way the lanes developed. If they had stronger lanes, I don't feel like IG is necessarily way better than them, but they just had the kind of lineup where if Shadow Fiend crushes his lane, the game's almost over right there.
Yep. I mean, Team Liquid was part of a great comeback against Tong Fu earlier in the groups. I think that was during day 1, so they got a lot of confidence beating Tong Fu then. Can they do something here? Can they perhaps make a comeback? Can Juggernaut get fat enough? Can Weaver get fat enough?
There's so few avenues to come back right now. The gem for Fluff gives them a little more map control, and I think that's the big thing they do have right now. They have a Nyx Assassin and a Clockwork, great long-range gankers, and they have vision while IG do not. But IG can just 5-man, and they always have Keeper Light to split push if needed. I think Liquid somehow just needs to pick heroes off, but with Sentry Wards being plopped down in the lane, their avenues to find those pickoffs are very limited.
Yep, here comes Illuminated, blow down the Crude Wave, and that tier 2 tower, I think it's going to be taken for free. Korok seems like he's going for the Acceptor build. I'm not ever a big fan of the Acceptor. Oh, here comes a blink from Bat Rider. Uh-oh, Korok, are you dead, my friend?
BKB unwinding his 430. Korok down. And everybody should be on the run. Fluff sticking around. Still slowed by the Requiem. One more raise, just out of vision.
That's his first miss.
That's his first miss in 24 minutes.
430 scrub.
And he's not even necessarily going to win the 1v1 competition. This isn't even the best Shadow Fiend player.
I mean...
He's a good one, though. He is a good one.
1v1 Dota is a little bit different. I'm just going to say that.
That's very true.
Just going to say that. Mushi is not
You're saying you would take 430 over Mushi? I don't know. That's a tough choice, actually.
No, I think Mushi is definitely one of the best 1v1s. I can't.
Well, no, I mean in general.
In general?
Who's on your fantasy team, Lumi?
Neither.
Yeah, we know he has to beat Moo.
Dendy's
Thank you, Vikrama.
Dendy's on my fantasy team.
And bottom lane, we'll see a TP out from TC. Dendy's on your team? Dendy's
Yeah.
already... Dendy doesn't like 1v1, by the way. He thinks it's pretty silly.
Yeah,
We
agree.
actually invited him to participate in a Fistful of Tangos, and he was one of the few players that got invited that said he didn't want to. IG will smoke up, but they do it under a dire ward. The one thing I don't like from IG is the lack of a gem. I mean, when you're up by this much gold, 14,000, there's no excuse. You should have a gem.
Don't need gem when you can take fluffs. Here we go. Where's the BKB from 430? Gotta pop
No,
it.
he didn't get it off. He's getting burst a little bit. Now an Omni Slash coming through. 430. Manta's up. It's too late. And oh my god, they're actually might be going to lose this fight. The first death for the Shadow Fiend. A ray of
Buys
hope
back.
for the Americans. And in we go. Now Zhou Shadow Blading away. Incoming TC. I think the gem actually went the way of IG during this fight. It did. Zhou picked it up.
Ooh.
TC to fall. So who needs a gem when you can just take liquids, I suppose.
That's what I'm saying.
Now Cogs from Boba. Stun on Korok. Korok in trouble. YYF hunting him. 430's back, and he's out for vengeance. And he's going to find it. 13-1-6 now. And IG, now they go Roche.
Yep. That was just a little bit of a pre-party on the Roche pit. IG wins that handily. And
Pre-gaming for IG.
yeah, pre-gaming.
Well, they've taken their shots, and now they're out on the town.
Yeah, now they put the Aegis on 430, and the game gets almost impossible. You saw that 430 overstepped a little bit without his allies here and took an Omni Slash to the face, and
Even that, he survived for quite a bit. But
Yeah,
now...
he popped his Manta a little bit late there. I mean, he didn't even play it perfectly, but he still lived for a really long time.
Yeah, but now with the Aegis on top, I mean, you only have one Omni Slash.
IG, yeah, you only have one Omni Slash, and even after buying back, 430 is 3,000 gold.
What is he
2,800.
getting next? I think Desolator is in order, or Dendy would generally love his crits right now. Well, Dendy
I
also
think,
have Blink
I think
right
Butterfly is really good now, too.
now. Okay, that's fair. I mean, it doesn't really matter.
Desolator's nice when you already have so much minus armor. It just feels good.
Mhm.
But we'll see. I think Butterfly's really nice again. It doesn't block the Juggernaut. I don't believe it blocks the regular slashes from the ult, but the auto attacks that can come in between it. You
Right.
can miss those.
Right.
And there's just so much. There's like decent physical damage from familiars and right clicks from Weaver. Well, it's not that decent, but it's probably more damage than anything else coming this way.
I mean, what does this do to IG's confidence, or more importantly, Team Liquid's confidence?
I don't feel IG should not feel overconfident because I think it's mainly just 430. YYF's gotten picked off a few times. Joe got picked off a lot. We saw Faith just pretty much feeding top lane, pushing with no vision against a Weaver by himself. Chuan has looked really solid, and I'd say 430 has been amazing, but I don't think they should feel overconfident. If they feel super confident going into game 2, they could get completely crushed.
And as for Team Liquid, I mean, I always worry about their confidence level. I know they play a lot better if they're just playing Dota. And if they start thinking about, you know, what if we lose this game? What if we go to the losers bracket? Then they really, really
You
are in
can't
big
think
trouble.
about
Yeah,
that.
they cannot. Even against the defending champions, who is, you know, playing okay Dota for now. So
Remember, they have beaten IG before. They beat them on land. They did it with CK Wisp, sure, but they beat the team nonetheless.
Slarkwisp.
Didn't they have CK? They had CK.
They had CK too?
Yeah, pretty sure. I don't know if
Okay.
he did a whole lot. I think they had CK Wisp.
Okay, well, they have Wisp.
95% sure.
And IG has said we will not give you the Wisp. And how? Here comes the high ground.
Yeah, if they don't give Liquid Wisp, I do think it's much harder for Liquid. Like, that's, to me, is a gimme if Liquid gets it. I don't think IG's going to give it to them. They've taken game 1. They've done it by banning the Wisp. They'll look to do it in game 2. Game 1, all but out of reach for Liquid. Liquid trying to defend their high ground, but very hard to find a way into these fights. You've got a hook. You've got your initiation for Bulba. But he sees 430 hitting his base, and he's not going in. YYF blinking forward, 4-staffing back. Now, BKB from 430 unloads the Requiem, and he pops one. He looks for more. He's dropping fast, but not fast enough. Too fast, too furious. TC on the run. Time-lapsing back out. TC heading north, and YYF following him with the gem. And with the Mana League, uh-oh. Yeah,
Yep.
GG.
PC says, don't kill me, I called it GG.
Mercy, please. No mercy.
Zo says, stat pattern. Gotta get them fantasy points.
Raise your shadows, Lumi.
raise my what?
Raise your shadows.
What does that even mean?
Raise your dongers, except raise your shadows. Shadow raise, get it?
Oh.
Jesus. You're slow.
I'm slow.
You're very slow today.
All I know is that IG 2-0. It's happening. It's happening.
You did actually say you wanted IG to win 2-0.
Yeah.
You are actually an awful American. You're not a race trader, though.
I'm not a race trader like you are.
So Liquid struggling in game 1. They'll lose it. IG take it on the back of 430 Shadow Fiend.
Yep.
Well, I think the game was really well played by IG. Obviously, fantastic play out of Ferrari. He took advantage of the situation. And what I think the situation was an outdraft, and then that led to an outplay. I talked to some of the Liquid people yesterday, and they were saying that the Chinese scene was pretty behind on the meta, or at least by a couple months, and the fact that they were picking too greedy, so they would draft things like Alchemist and Lifestealer and too many cores that need to farm, and they would punish that, which is why they grabbed the Ursa Wisp the other day. So if I could just get verification from the casters, Lifestealer made it quite a ways through, right?
He was ignored through the entire first phase.
Okay, so I think what Liquid was trying to do was allow IG to take the Lifestealer. That way they would have done either Lifestealer in the tri lane or Alchemist mid. Either one of those, either Lifestealer or Alchemist, would have been a much better matchup for Clockwork. And instead, they left that through all the way. There's no way that a normal team would do that unless they wanted them to pick it. And then they picked a Shadow Fiend, and Shadow Fiend is really good against Clockwork. And to make matters worse, they had an aggressive tri-lane, so their supports couldn't even rotate over, because if they did, then they would have had an off-lane Juggernaut against kind of a scary tri-lane with stuns and nukes. And then, you know, like, they couldn't leave their supports to go cover Bulba mid, and Bulba had to lane versus a Shadow Fiend as a Clockwork, and that's not a good matchup. So.
It's too, like, trying to be next level with the draft. I think they gave away Bat and Wisp and Alchemist to Alliance yesterday, and this time they gave Bat and Alchemist. Those are like two top tier heroes that you do not want to give away without getting like something awesome in return. They had what, like Nyx and Visage and like
Weaver.
Weaver. They're like decent heroes, but they're not like first pick materials. Oh, Weaver's been first pick a lot.
I still think that Coddle pick completely threw Liquid off. I mean, look at all the bans they had after that. They banned
PL?
Gyrocopter, PL, as well as Anti-Mage, which you
And
normally would not ban against IG.
I think that they also picked Nyx Assassin, not just because of it, but it's pretty good against Illuminate. They also play Clockwork, which is definitely
great against Keeper.
great against a PL Keeper counter in a sense.
Yeah.
But did he ever hook? They hooked him once in the jungle. That's it.
Yeah. Maybe they expected IG to play like passively, but they definitely did not after Shadow Fiend got off to a good start. They had no way of stopping the Shadow Fiend from farming early just by the draft alone, and because Bat puts out a lot of pressure on his lane, and their defensive triple lane had a lot of killing power, and they can't really sacrifice Korok's farm in order to gank Ferrari because their supports can rotate too. So it's like it's a really risky thing, but Ferrari took complete advantage of it, and just it was impressive Shadow Fiend
The one
play.
time they did rotate on Ferrari in the early game, it was TC on the Weaver, and then he got that double raise off and died, and that was just a gank that needed to happen for Liquid to do well. I mean, if they would have been able to get a solo kill or a gank kill on Shadow Fiend in the early game and Clockwork gets a level advantage, sure, that's a matchup you can win, especially if you hit 6 first, if you can hookshot in, battery cell, whatever. But if you can never get the gap closed and you don't have enough HP buffer to eat the double raise, then it's just, you can't win that matchup.
Liquid has to draft stronger lanes like Clockwork and Weaver. They're good heroes, but they against particular matchups like Bat and Shadow Fiend, they were destined to lose those lanes to begin with.
Yep.
And their triple lane's like okay, but if you're gonna lose 2 lanes out of 3, you have to win your third like decisively, and that did not happen. So I would like to see a stronger draft out of Liquid. Just stop trying to next level and bait people into Lifestealer or whatever picks, because IG didn't take the bait and they just absolutely dominated. It was actually quite embarrassing for Liquid.
Yeah, I thought the game was going to look a lot closer than that. I'm a little scared for them right now. I hope that they pick Standard and just beat them. They need 1 win to stay in the winner's bracket. If they lose this next match, they got to play in losers. So, not looking good.
Scary, scary road.
So
Good for IG, though.
can we take a look at the other sides of the tournament and see what's going on? Because I'm looking at my multi-Twitch, and Rattlesnake has first picked an Ursa, followed by a second pick.
Well, these
Wisp.
games don't matter. These teams have nothing to lose.
Right, but it matters for Tong Fu, because Tong Fu
Well,
needs
but
to
yeah, it doesn't matter for Elsnake. They're going to experiment.
So is this a throw?
well,
Is this the throw you were
it
talking
matters
about?
for the
no, I think Ursa Wisp has been shown.
Was it Wisp and Ursa picked at the very start?
yeah.
It's actually pretty good versus Lifestealer.
Yeah.
He just like demolishes him
Yeah,
through
he
the
just,
rage.
like,
It's absurd.
Meanwhile, on the other side, on the match that I don't think, well, it could matter for LGD International, VP has picked Axe.
Again, a team that has nothing to play for, except they're in the losers bracket no matter what. They're one of the lowest seeded teams in the groups no matter what.
Yeah,
So why not
LGD
have fun?
crushed them in game 1 though. But
Okay, we'll talk a lot more about those games after the series, but we're going to take a very quick break. Then we're going to come right back with Game 2, guys, so stay tuned. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to our final prelim match of the tournament. After this, we do have a tiebreaker. I'm LD, he's Luminous. We're about to cast Liquid versus IG Game 2. Liquid, they only needed one game from this series. Now they're out of games to mess around in. They take this game or they trust in the vagaries of fate. They might drop down to the loser's bracket if they don't win here.
So the tiebreaker is happening immediately after this match?
Should be.
Okay.
We'll see. Maybe they need some setup time, but should be quite quick. In Game 1, IG showed one style. In Game 2, same bands, different picks. They'll go for a Chen first.
Yeah, and I think it's
Well,
really
actually, so Bat Rider did not get banned. So it is a different ban, but they'll go for a first pick Chen, which is entirely different.
I think they'll be a lot more comfortable with the Bat Rider first pick. Team Liquid goes back for Reaver and now Rubik. So Lifestealer is still within the pool, and Purge was saying that maybe TL is trying to bait.
Well, Lifestealer's not invincible. I mean, that hero just isn't very good against Weaver. We've seen that plenty of times. In general. I mean, he can be, but he needs help. Like, he'll need a puck. He'll need a Storm Spirit at his side if he wants to be effective. You can still go Lifestealer here. He's obviously nice to have with Chen, because you can just infest the Chen's creeps if you ever get in trouble. Liquid don't have great counter push just yet, but we'll see. I think you wait on the Lifestealer. I don't think you go for that here. There's some good solo mids already banned out, but there still are a few available. If you want something like Puck to deal with Weaver in the mid game, that would be a nice choice.
No, if we're casting for Alliance here or something like that, we would say, oh, you know, Lone Druid's in the pool. You could get S4, one of his heroes. For IG, it doesn't feel like they have any signature right now, which worries me. Going
It's good and
the
it's
main
bad.
event.
It's good because teams aren't sure what they're gonna do. It's bad because they don't have that one. Okay, big game. Let's do this.
Yeah. Well,
They'll go
perhaps
after
as
them.
Alchemist, although Zoe has been somewhat lackluster. The Chinese lately has been safe laning their Alchemist, but they haven't been picking up Grievous Green.
Well,
In
they
fact,
haven't been securing his farm. Is the main thing.
I mean, Mu in that one game on Tongfu against Alliance.
Well, that
was.
But that was fine to me. Like you don't have to go Grievous Greed farm build. It's not inherently better. Mu.
It's so strong though.
It's
so
strong. It's easier. I mean, that's why the Western teams like it, because it's just a lot easier and safer. You almost guaranteed to stack those camps, get massive farm, and then in the mid game, I mean, you right click to win. You get off a few Shadowblade ganks, and it could just be all she wrote. But I think the Shadowblade strategy, if executed well, is in a lot of ways way stronger because it puts pressure and fear into the opponent. Sure, there's the ticking time bomb of an Alk farming, but when he's constantly killing your carries and farming, that's way more pressure on the map. It's strong. It's a strong style. I don't know if one's clearly better, but I don't think Shadowblade and more of an offensive build is inherently worse.
I just feel like when you're going for the Shadowblade build, you're also in a sense using one of your very precious slot for an item that it's
no,
fine.
most of the Battle Fury players go Shadowblade after it anyway.
Well, yeah. No, I actually don't think Battle Fury is a that good of an item on Alchemist.
There's also the Loda build where he gets Midas and he skips Battle Fury.
I like that build a little bit more, but that's just kind
The
of.
nice thing with Midas is Alk does need levels and it gives you a lot of levels.
It hits you to 16 so quickly, and then after that you just go crazy. But Invictus Gaming has done their homework. Team Liquid loves their Naga support. They just love it. It's a 5-based armor support that could just tank so much in the front line, dish out a ton of damage.
Yeah.
Works well with Weaver.
Good tri-lane hero, good team fight hero, just very versatile.
Check it out.
And it's nice with Weaver. You can song and then drop the swarm. It does latch on, and once the song ends, starts doing damage.
Yeah.
So IG smart ban from them. There is still a Shadow Fiend in the pool, and the other reason that pick was really strong in game 1 is they